Good morning, goedemorgen. Welcome on my presentation on gamification in education. I'll just put the presentation on for you. Just a minute. So, welcome on my RatRace gamification game. Oh, sorry. Do you still see me?
Yeah, got you.
Seems like oh, all right. A little word about myself. My name is Emmy Leleu. I'm the principal of a school for adult education in Belgium, and I'm a Google certified trainer since 2014 and a Google certified innovator since 2018. And I've written a couple of books on the use of technology in education, but then in the Dutch language. At our school, we developed a game in which we combine old school and new school techniques. The reason why we developed this game is to get youngsters interested in entrepreneurship. Up till a couple of years ago, when you wanted to start your own company in Belgium and you didn't have a bachelor degree or a master degree, you had to follow a course on entrepreneurship in adult education. But due to the European law on free traffic of people and goods, the Belgian government couldn't force Belgian people anymore to follow this course. The consequence of this is that nobody enrolls for the course anymore. In adult education, we think this course still has its value. So what we did is we gamified the first module to get youngsters interested. They take the course in their secondary school, and the first module, so the gamified module, is a very good start of the school year to learn to know each other. I'll get you through the flow of the game. I'll explain the main principles we've used for setting up the game. I'll talk about the story we've created and how we implemented the escape rooms. The locks we've used, the collector's item we've used, and the game flow. To be an entrepreneur means that you not only have to have knowledge about your product, but you also have to be able to communicate with your customers. You have to collaborate with other people. You have to think critical, and you have to be creative. And these things are the 4 C's of modern education. This, next to the learning goals, we also put the 4 C's of modern education into the game. The game will test the learning goals and the 4 C's, and will try to motivate them to be a good entrepreneur by participating in group. The elements we've used, so the goals in the game are the learning goals of the module. We have a storyline and we have rules. The rules are they may not use the elevator, and they may not break down the escape boxes. They have to open it in a civilized way. There is freedom of choice and freedom to make mistakes. They can make good decisions. They can decide to make bad decisions. But to making bad decisions, there are consequences. But keep in mind, this is a game. A consequence is not a punishment. It should stay fun, all right? There is a reward. Every time they open a breakout box, they get rewarded. And they have a visual status. We use badges to get their visual status on which level they reached. There is a time restriction. They have 3 hours to go through the whole game. It's a competition. It's a rat race. They have to be the first. If they are the first, they get rewarded. And there are some surprise elements, good surprise elements and bad surprise elements in the game. to divide the students into groups. We put 4 students in a group, and we put introverts and extroverts together, but also explorers, socializers, thinkers, achievers. We put them together so that they should learn to work together with each other. There are 4 stages in the game. And the first stage is really very, very easy. Everybody can play the first stage. The main goal is that they learn to know each other, they learn to know the game, and they can get a group vibe to get through all stages. The second stage is a little bit more difficult. The third stage is a little bit more difficult, and the fourth stage is difficult. It's just difficult. They should do hard. They should do their best. The main goal of this. The main goal of this game is setting up your own company. And we want to avoid that they go through the game from the first learning goal, the second learning goal, the third learning goal, a key skill, a next key skill. It's chemistry. It all comes together. It's about all the key skills and all the learning skills together. So they have to try hard their best to communicate, to get through the game, to be creative, to try and fail and try again. So it's all chemistry. It all comes together. It's just go and play and try your best. So the story is as follows. The young Richard Branson, he wants to start his own record company. And he is desperately in search for euros to start his own company. But there are many youngsters who want to start their own company. And we'll try and find out if Mr. Branson is a man of the world, if he speaks many languages, which is important in Belgium, and if he is able to negotiate. Can he find the ferryman? Can he get to the last level and break open the last box? The learning goals is connected to the escape rooms. We have 1 learning goal for 1 box, and we have 4 learning goals in the whole game, so we have 4 boxes. Every box has different teasers, so we have many locks on 1 box, and every lock is a different teaser, is a different game to play. So it takes them a while to open a box. But when they open a box, there are a few collector items in the box and a few presents in the box. So it's up to them to find out what is what. How do we play the game? Our school, you have the ground level, you have the first floor, and you have the second floor, and the whole school yard. In the first box, there is a badge for opening the first box. There is white paper and a pencil, but what they don't know that on one of the white papers is a secret message. There are dollars in the box, and there are enough dollars in the box for the whole game. So we didn't divide the dollars over the 4 boxes. We put it all into 1 box, so that they have to be really careful with their money during the game and keep their money real tight. There's a list of words, a list of English words in the box. And as we pay with euros in Belgium, they have to run down the stairs to the ground level, to the bank, and exchange the dollars for euros. They have to calculate the exchange rate themselves. If they make a mistake, they have to pay taxes to the bank. In the box, there's also a hint to where the second box is. They have to find out the room where the second box is, and they have to negotiate in English with the ferryman to let them into the second room. They will have to pay a little fee to the ferryman. It's up to them to try to convince the ferryman that they do not have much money. In the second box, there's a list of French words, there's a badge, and there is candy, real good Belgian candy. There's also a hint to where the third box is, and they will have to convince the ferryman to let them into the third room. This time, the ferryman, he's hungry. If they have already opened the bag with candy, then the ferryman, he is a bit angry. He doesn't want a bag that is open. So the ferryman will send him to the sports coach, and they will have to do some sport to gain money, to buy healthy food, to buy apples. And they will have to they have to negotiate with the ferryman to take the apples instead of the candy and get into the third room. In the third room, there's again a badge. There's again a list with words, but this time with phonetic Arabic words. And there are records in the third box. This time, the ferryman, he's a bit greedy. The ferryman, he wants everything. So they have to negotiate to what they will give the ferryman. There's also a lottery man in the hall. And the lottery man, there you can win big prizes, win for life, you can win everything. But he's a fraud. They will always end up in bankrupt. And when they get bankrupt, they have to go to the sports coach, play basket with the sports coach to get money to get to the fourth room. In the fourth room, there will be a black light so they can read the message on the white paper. But the question is, will they have used the white paper to give to the ferryman? Or did they leave it behind or use it as paper to write on? So these are what's in the boxes. You have the badges, you have the list with words, you have the dollars in the first box, you have the white paper, you have the candy, the records, the flashlight, and a number of small things. The boxes itself are or have locks. We have 3 locks on every box. We have a letter box, we have a number lock, and we have an arrow lock. We use the breakout arrow template to keep it all organized, to keep the locks and the place together. We played the game in January with a few teachers. At first, we searched on the internet to have nice boxes and nice locks, but it was quite expensive. And to try out the game, we used boxes of computers and shopping bags to try it out. After the teachers, we used 4 students who were in detention because of bad behavior in the classroom and let them play the game. And they loved the boxes and the shopping bags. They thought that it was better than using expensive boxes. Normally, we were going to play the game the day before the Easter holidays with all of the students of the last year here at school. But we've been in lockdown since March, so we were not able to play this game with all of the students. But the 4 students who played it and the teachers, they loved the game. So, get back. Yeah. So this was about the game we've made. So we used some old techniques, some new techniques. For opening the boxes, we've used in the first box a presentation, Google Slides. We've made a game with multiple choice, which gives them each time a number to open a lock. For the second box, we used Google Forms. There they have to calculate interest and see if they can find the right answer. For the third box, we used dices and exercises that were around in the classroom. And for the fourth box, we used Google Forms again. So there's a switch of games in each box and a switch of languages between each box. So if you have any questions, please feel free.
Hi, Emmy. I think it's a great idea. I can see it not just for like students who want to do entrepreneurship. I can see it with all students because I think there's no concept of money with some of the youngsters these days. What do you think?
Yeah, the concept of trying to keep your money, that was one idea, because students of the 6th grade here in our school, they're all in a professional educational course. So it's important that they learn how to use money in a good way. That's one thing. And the other thing is we wanted to gamify this module. And there were four learning goals in this module. And if you put the 4 boxes straight after each other, then they get bored. So we needed something in between the 4 boxes to get them motivated. And by letting them out of the room and letting them run around the schoolyard and trying to negotiate with somebody who doesn't speak their language, it keeps them going. And they really thought it was fun. The 4 students who played it were really annoying students. They were in detention for bad behavior, and they played the game really, really good. Last week, I saw one of the students in the hallway, and they said, "Hi, missus, if you need a ferryman, I'm the one. I'm going to be the ferryman next time." So they really enjoyed it.
Well, Emmy, thank you very much for taking us through the game.
Thank you.
I'm going to pop some links in the chat just for people who are moving on to the next session. And just a word of warning, our next session is in Spanish. So it is a Spanish session that follows this one. But thank you for that. Obviously, the recording for this and all the sessions are available also on our website, so people can access the resource.